Cyber Uncut. Discover the changing face of business, government and national security as Australia navigates the cyber revolution.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are listening to the Cyber Uncut podcast. My name is David Hollingworth and your name is?
Daniel Croft.
Excellent. It has been a while. We may have forgotten.
It has been. It's been like at least a month.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
Maybe longer.
And it doesn't help that what we cover moves really, really fast. So much has happened since you and I last sat down at this table. And we're not even going to try and cover all of it. As regular listeners will be aware, we've had some 2 or 3 sponsored podcasts in, which are always great. The guests are marvelous. I really, really enjoy them. But there's something about sitting down with you after 7 days on the tools, getting on the beers, and breaking down what we've dealt with throughout the last week. And whew, what a time.
Yeah. This isn't exactly a slouch of a week.
No, it really
nice and busy.
isn't. No. So we've got the big ones coming up. But before that, here's one you may not have heard of, and one that for you is very close to your own heart. Mm-hmm. So first up, what is Suno?
So Suno you may have heard of. It's an AI kind of generative service.
Yeah.
Where you can hand it a prompt or some sort of other media, and it will create music for you.
Oh, you must love that.
I hate it. I've never been so excited for the next part of this story, which is that they got... Yeah, that's probably a bit brutal.
Yeah, okay.
They got hacked.
Right.
And the hack actually proved something that's going on in a lawsuit that they're dealing with. Well, several lawsuits.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Are we... do we need to throw around the term alleged here a lot? Or?
No. This has been confirmed. So, according to Have I Been Pwned, the cyber attack actually occurred in November last year, and 55.3 million people had their data stolen.
Sorry, how many?
55.3. So, a little less than double our population here in Australia.
That many people use an AI music service?
It's incredibly popular, Suno. It's really annoying.
Before you mentioned it, in a little news chat the other day, I'd never even heard of it.
Oh, I'd heard of it too much. Another story we wrote, actually, which I don't know if we ever got the chance to talk about, was a local venue got slammed because one of the artists that they booked, they didn't check. And they were using AI music.
I honestly can't remember whether we covered that one.
The venue handled it well.
They did actually.
That'll be all on that.
Well,
so the threat actor, reportedly Ellie191, they apparently breached the company after they hacked a staffer using the Shai Hulud worm. Yes, I knew you'd like that.
Shai Hulud!
Yeah, I knew you'd like that.
It was the coming and going of him.
Yeah. It was a supply chain attack that allowed them to access GitHub, cloud service credentials, and then Suno's customer list.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the Shai Hulud worm lives inside of NPM packages. These are widely used code packages. So you basically go to your code shop, your GitHub repository, get your code package, use it. And if there's a worm in there, guess what? It starts to replicate across, and it can even deploy malware or steal data.
Yes. So data reportedly includes email addresses, phone numbers, tens of thousands of Stripe records relating to purchases, including names, purchase amounts, and partial credit card data, including card type, expiry dates, and the last 4 digits of a credit card, as well as physical addresses.
That's dangerous data. I mean, that's enough for a scammer to call up and gain trust and confidence.
Well, you could prove identity with those details. Now, 404 Media, who does some brilliant investigative journalism,
so good.
They covered this first.
Yep.
And the other thing that was stolen in this attack, other than this personal data, this wealth of personal data, was source code.
Yeah.
And what the source code proved was how Suno was training its AI.
Because this is the AI section of the pod, not the cybersecurity crime section of the pod.
Exactly.
It happens to cross over, but it is very AI.
This is where we get deep into the AI part of it.
Yeah.
Now, we already have covered AI companies training their bots, not the most ethically, like Anthropic, for example, with all the books. Suno's done the same thing. It was training its AI using YouTube videos. Now, Suno was kind of transparent about this, and they argue that they were. But they're now facing a number of major record industry lawsuits, which have accused the company of training its models using copyrighted works of artists and musicians. Suno said that in the lawsuit that its training data included essentially all music files of reasonable quality that are accessible on the open internet, abiding by paywalls, password protections, and the like, combined with similarly available text descriptions. And they added that this meant tens of millions of recordings.
Yeah.
And Suno said the AI was constructed, showing the program tens of millions of instances of different kinds of recordings gathered from publicly available sources. Now, the Recording Industry Association of America, or the RIAA, accused the company of doing it from YouTube. They said, for Suno specifically, this process involves copying decades worth of the world's most popular sound recordings and then ingesting those copies into Suno's AI models so they can generate outputs that imitate the qualities of genuine human sound recordings. Now, the source code proved them right.
Right.
So 404 Media, who was able to see the data, I think they were in contact with the threat actor, shows source code appears to be from 23 to 24, 2023 to 24. And a lot of this source code is quite damning. So one file lists data such as Genius HQ, YouTube Music, Freesound, Jamendo. Some of these I don't know. Imp, Deezer, YTM tag, so YouTube Music tag, as well as one note that says non-music will be filtered out. Another note called YouTube Music suggests when the data was last updated, Suno had scraped 2,013,545 music clips. So this was roughly, according to another file, 113,879 hours of YouTube Music, 17,615 hours of Genius HQ, 410 hours of Freesound, 19,514 hours of IMSLP, 3,726 hours of Jamendo, 117 hours of Pond 5 music. I'm nearly done.
There's a lot.
And there was another code that shows that it was specifically searching for a cappella versions of songs on YouTube for AI vocal training. Yeah.
This is the worst.
Podcasts weren't safe either. It also reportedly scraped.
They're coming after Cyber Uncut?
They might be. Hello, Suno bots.
Oh, God.
They apparently scraped 420,000 podcasts using a tool called Podcast Index. Podcasts contained at least 5 30-minute episodes and were intended to download the bot was intended to download around 1 million hours of podcasts. So, Suno's like, we already said this. We're not doing anything, a bit dodgy.
They are. Don't say the quiet part out loud. They are.
Yeah. They also sent a training data disclosure in line with California law. So it might not be illegal, but it's unethical.
Yeah, definitely.
So I didn't like that. Didn't mind that they were hacked. Besides the innocents, that were involved in that. 55 million of them.
Good, 55 million.
Yeah, 55.3.
Yeah.
But
what strikes me here is the world went, the tech world went mad decades ago when people started using Napster and things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's the tech world that's doing that. Yeah. It's just. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of arguments I've seen online of people saying, people need to get with the times. This is just, the next development in technology. The world moves on. People got annoyed at the electric guitar until I think Bob Dylan started playing one on stage.
That's a really good point.
But the thing is, the electric guitar...
But these are natural progressions that don't rely upon stealing other people's work.
And there's still human art. Like, even I'm not a big listener of digital music, electronic music, but electronic music is still human expression. It conveys emotions that make you want to dance or cry or laugh.
The phrase you're looking for is human in the loop.
Yes. This isn't. And then others will argue, I just use Suno to compile my ideas. So you're getting a bot to cover your music is pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
You take the human out of it. I don't like it. I could talk about this for the rest of the podcast.
And we will stop him.
Yeah. So yes, we should move on.
Yeah.
To
that's perfectly valid. Now this one, oh boy. Yeah, okay. Hugging Face. I mean, it's a great name for anything, Hugging Face. I don't even know where it comes from. But anyway, Hugging Face. I'm sure many of our listeners are aware of where we're going now. But Hugging Face, an AI community platform, it got hacked. Horrifying.
Another AI hack for today.
Another AI hack, yeah. But this is purely AI.
Yes,
it is. But what alarmed Hugging Face, and this incident actually happened a couple of weeks ago, I think, July 15. It was an AI agent got inside their network perimeter,
Yeah.
and did the nasty. So they're all like, "Oh my god, this threat actor, malicious activity, all of the usual boilerplate that you and I are familiar with." However, was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. So overnight yesterday, so 2 days ago, OpenAI basically went, "Yeah, it was us. That was what was it? It was a GPT model.
Yep.
5.6 Sol.
Yeah. Which I think is one of their very, very recent ones.
Very recent and very guardrail light. So here's the too long don't read. If you do want to read it, you can find it on our website. But basically, this model was being tested inside of a sandbox, completely secure, and was being tested on a particular benchmark.
Yeah.
All the model cares about is solve benchmark.
Yeah.
So the model reasons, and the thing is that these models have different guardrails in their reasoning capability. Some of them literally can't have an idea going beyond here.
Yeah.
This model is designed to not have those guardrails, to be able to think literally outside of the box, or more accurately, outside of the sandbox. It decides first, I could really solve this better with internet access. It finds internet access.
Yeah.
So it gets out of the sandbox. It then realizes, man, all the solutions to this are right there in the Hugging Face network. I'll just go over there. It chains together 0 days, vulnerabilities, gets there. And so now OpenAI is like, no, that's just how powerful this model is.
Or it sets a ridiculously dangerous precedent that you can just send a bot off to hack something.
Yeah.
Very efficiently and quickly.
Yeah, OpenAI refers to this as a hyper-focused effort to solve the problem.
It's a data breach.
Yeah.
It's a cyber attack is what it is.
OpenAI is really trying to spin this. Like, knowing this, the model searched for and successfully found ways to gain access to secret information it could use to cheat the evaluation. Like, they keep throwing words like success.
Yeah. It's like, this is a win.
Congratulations, failed successfully. Yeah. Well, it did point out, OpenAI did point out that this is an unprecedented cyber incident involving state-of-the-art cyber capabilities, and they are responding accordingly. They're now working with Hugging Face. I feel like such an idiot saying Hugging Face over and over like I'm a small child. And Clem DeLang, co-founder and CEO of Hugging Face, said that he was quite grateful for OpenAI's assistance. This incident, possibly the first of its kind, proves the point we've long believed. AI safety won't be solved by any single company working in secret. It will be solved in the open, collaboratively, with broad access to AI for every defender everywhere. And I've got to, he sounds awfully bullish for the guy who runs a company that's got hacked by somebody else's remote agent.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a cyber attack that didn't actually impact them in any way, which is good. It wasn't a threat actor.
Yeah.
It put their name on the map more.
Yeah.
So they've kind of won out in that regard, but I'm scared.
If you ascribe to there's no such publicity is bad
publicity.
Which
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
What I don't like is that this sets a precedent. Already we know AI is lowering the barrier for entry for cybercrime. That barrier is plummeting. It has for years before AI.
It really is.
And now, not only can you just jailbreak or ask a malicious AI to give you, code or a phishing email,
you can get
text,
that AI to go off and do the work for you.
Now, obviously, that's just not willy-nilly available right now. But if we keep going in the direction of that being possible, it's really scary, really scary that, a threat actor might not even know that they hacked a company because the AI's gone off and done it.
Yeah, and Jermaine Tan Shu Ting, she is field CISO and VP Security and AI Strategy at Darktrace, reached out to share some commentary. And I don't blame Jermaine for trying to spin this. I mean, everybody in the industry is very pro-AI, obviously.
Yes.
But she said, AI is built to be evolving and creative, which is what makes it so useful. So we shouldn't be shocked if we give it a goal and it evolves to use creative and unexpected means to achieve its objectives. It's a risk we need to accept and prepare for if we plan to use agentic AI broadly, which sounds kind of, with all due respect, it's going to happen. Got to get used to it.
Or I thought, cyber defenders were kind of the guys that go, no, we're going to try and stop this inevitable thing of what?
I know. Yeah, it's and Yeah, I saw another journo colleague of mine. I saw him saying today that he's getting commentary coming out of all over the place. People going, "Oh, this is bad," and here's how our product can stop it. So it's just no one's looking at this in the way they should. It really does feel like, the phrase, the genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Well, the bottle was full of a lot of genies, and they're all rapidly getting out of it.
It does make me think Terminator, though, because it's just one bot with an absolute
right there,
task.
Huh? Yeah.
And it's like, well, how do you defend against a bot that will do everything it can to get into your system?
Yeah.
A bot that will do everything it can to stop it.
To get just a bit grim for a moment, it's like that quote from an American officer during the Vietnam War. It became obvious that to defend the village, we had to destroy it.
Yeah.
That's a human having that logic. I mean, this kind of AI going, oh, must defend network. Must first penetrate network to defend network.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there is an answer there.
But it's wild, right?
Yeah. It's really I never even thought about that, but it doesn't seem like it's something that I could imagine was just going to happen eventually.
Yeah. 2026 has been a hell of a decade. Let's just say that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it's time for a short break.
Yes.
We'll be back with, so many crimes.
Yeah, there's been quite a few.
But I do promise you, we do have some good news.
We actually do.
We do actually have some good news. So anyway, break, and then we'll be right back. Welcome back to Cyber Uncut. I'm David, he's Dan, and now, all right, let's get out of the way. Origin Energy.
Yeah.
One of Australia's largest providers of electricity, gas, internet. It's easy to forget they have a lot of internet customers as well.
Yep.
They disclosed this week that they are looking into what they're calling a potential security incident. About a bit after midday yesterday, they posted to the ASX a very brief letter. And I thought this is interesting. So this isn't something that we broke.
Yeah.
Pretty much every major masthead had it before us.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of this.
Yeah.
Larger teams, they're watching the ASX and stuff like this, and they found it.
Yeah, it went quick.
The notice itself is maybe 3 paragraphs because there's not a lot of meat to it. But of course, Origin's getting out in front of this. But here's what Origin said. Origin Energy Limited is currently investigating a potential security incident which may involve unauthorized access to some customers' data. We do not believe the impacted data includes customer credit card or bank details. We understand an incident like this may raise concerns and acknowledge the impact of this uncertainty on Origin customers. It's looking into it as a matter of urgency. Makes sense. They've notified the ACSC and the AFP. They're also working with the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner. Now, the worry here, that's about it. Some customer data.
Yeah.
Now, at worst, that means 4.8 million Australians, their data's been compromised.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Australian might have heard from the actual threat actor itself, and maybe it's 2 million sets of data. We just don't know.
Yeah.
But it could be yet another one of those high-end, there's a huge percentage of the nation who's had their data breached yet again.
These seem to be at least an annual occurrence now, don't they?
Once a year.
We had Qantas last year.
Yeah,
what have we had?
Medicare.
Yeah,
Medibank?
we had
Optus. Yeah.
Medibank, Optus. That was all in one go in like 2019, 2020, whatever
absolutely.
it was.
It's you can almost set your clock by them, really.
Yeah.
But, that's what we do know. What we don't know, who did it. You and I are pretty across all these threat feeds, and I've certainly not seen any evidence of any actor who might have that data. It certainly isn't out there on the forums and leak sites that you and I frequent. We don't know the scope of it, of course. Could be up to 4.8 million, could be a handful. Don't know.
Yeah.
We don't even know the scope of the data itself, but the potential for this one to be big is really quite there.
Yeah, and yippee. I thought I had something to add and I didn't.
Yay.
Yeah.
And look, here's a bit of advice from Steve Hunter. He is Director of Engineering APAC at Arctic Wolf. He said, while the circumstances of this incident are still being investigated, organizations need to recognize that the absence of ransomware or downtime does not mean the impact is limited. Stolen customer information can be monetized and leveraged to pressure an organization long after the initial access. So, I mean, that's assuming this is a ransomware incident where there's going to be that level of extortion. I got to tell you, the first thing I did was I went straight to a certain underground hacking forum
I'm
you and
sure
I both
you
know,
did.
and I looked for a certain hacker we know, but they were 2019 to see if they might have said anything.
Yeah, if I was looking at it, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Yeah.
Certainly no ransomware actors stood up to say, yep, we did it. But chances are, in the next week or two, that data will be out there
Yeah.
in some form or another, which is just like, oh, here we go again. But the fact that that was all over every masthead within about a half hour just says how in the mainstream these incidents are now. And they're not going away. So moving on to more, I was going to say potential crimes, but this is actual crimes.
Yeah,
so
it is.
WordPress.
Yeah.
Have you ever used WordPress?
Well, I've used it here.
Yeah, exactly. Momentum Media uses WordPress on several of its sites.
Yeah, I used it in a couple of my old jobs.
Yeah. My many years neglected personal blog is a WordPress blog. Millions, tens of millions of WordPress instances around the world on computers all over the shop, doing everything from horrible writing blogs like mine, through to your inevitable recipe list, through to companies like ours who use it commercially.
Yeah.
Storefronts even.
Yeah.
Well, it looks out all of them may well be open to exploitation thanks to a couple of bugs, which are
Another yippee.
another yippee. Look, this is not the yippee part of this of the podcast. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
here.
this is sarcastic, I
Yeah,
promise.
so we're looking at a pair of vulnerabilities that initially the companies that had discovered them didn't want to go into too much detail because it was very, very early days.
Yes.
But I'm just going to start off with Benjamin Harris. He is the CEO of cybersecurity firm Watchtower. And I got to admit, I really like Watchtower because they're snarky as heck. WordPress gets a bad rap for security, he said in an email to me the other day. The reality is that a highly impactful unauthenticated SQL injection or remote code execution vulnerability in WordPress core, which is where these vulnerabilities sit, is actually quite rare. However, that's exactly where these two are. It's a pre-authentication remote code execution in WordPress core. There's no preconditions, can be exploited by an anonymous user in a stock install with no plugins.
Yeah.
And that's the warning from Searchlight Cyber who found this. Who went on to say there are over 500 million websites worldwide.
I'm actually surprised it's not more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know.
And I bet half of them are terrible recipe sites included. Given the severity of the bug and to give defenders time to patch, we're not releasing technical details at this time. But that's now accelerating pretty damn fast because I believe it was the next day, both of those vulnerabilities were given CVEs. Let's see, we're talking about CVE 2026-63030 and 2026-60137. Within about 24 hours, they became the two top most talked about vulnerabilities on social media. Everyone was talking about them, searching for them, or possibly looking for ways to exploit them.
Yeah.
Because exploitation is happening right now.
Yeah.
And here's another sense of the scale of it. This is Ben Marr, security engineer at Intruder. They run CVE Mon, a monitoring website for vulnerabilities. Given WordPress powers approximately 43% of all websites.
Whoa.
Yeah, the attack surface is enormous. Update to WordPress 6.95 or 7.02 immediately. They're the ones that are unaffected. Everything else, possibly affected.
Man.
Yeah. I did kind of pass this on to our team here, given that we do use WordPress. But it's like just a couple of vulnerabilities like that, and half the websites on the planet could be vulnerable to this.
Yeah.
Good grief.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah,
I think, this one's quite understated. When I first saw the headline, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But this is a scary one.
It really is. And this is going back to Watchtower again. This is Jake Knott, one of their security researchers. He said that once the vulnerabilities were publicly disclosed, reproducing them with the help of frontier AI models, here we go again, was only a matter of time and tokens. Watchtower was able to trivially reproduce 63030 within minutes of disclosure. And the second CVE was some additional effort. After public exploit code was released, attackers began spraying the internet indiscriminately, hitting anything reachable and trying to get lucky. Watchtower's honeypots alone recorded tens of thousands of exploitation attempts and more than 100 backdoor accounts created by different threat actors. That's just in their honeypots. So, I mean, it's just wild to think this is happening at scale right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yippee.
Yeah. Look, you're in the wrong section of the pod for non-yippee, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But that one really, really is alarming. Yeah, I think, if you work in media or you deal with a website or anything like that, that needs to be.
That's like patch now, patch yesterday.
That one hits home.
Patch
it really
last
does.
week. And more than that, start changing your passwords, rotating admin accounts, doing everything you can to make sure that your WordPress instance is secure. But that's an alarming one. We talk about, maybe this one website gets hacked, this one website gets defaced, this one company. No, this
could be
43% of
Yeah.
You know what? It's time for a refreshing Coca-Cola. Let's go overseas.
Yeah, well, this is a weird
Coca-Cola.
One. It's not quite Coca-Cola. This was one of its subsidiaries. It was a dairy subsidiary called Fairlife. Now, they make protein shakes, nutrition drinks, ultra-filtered milk products as well.
I do love a refreshing ultra-filtered milk product.
Yeah, can't beat it.
Okay.
Much better than those standard filtered ones. So anyway, so last week the company revealed that that Fairlife had been breached. Product quality and safety, unimpacted, good. Product operations within the US, though, have been suspended. Now, Canadian operations are all good.
Oh, Canada.
But the US operations have been hurt. Now, Anubis.
Hey, I know those guys.
Who we've reported on many, many times.
Yep, they've taken down a few Australian targets, yeah.
I do like reporting on Anubis, not because I want them to do more, but they are sassy.
They are sassy, and I'll give them this. They give us a lot to write about.
They do, yeah. So Anubis, in this case, said, why cause a public scene and lose millions in downtime? We are offering you a simple, confidential business solution.
I hate these guys
I do too. A token agreement is all it takes to have your systems fully operational again within hours. Now, Anubis usually would provide a wealth of proof of a cyber incident, from my experience. They didn't. They didn't provide anything. But they did say they stole.
It's rare for them.
It is. Yeah, quite abnormal. They did say they stole a terabyte of, in finger quotes, confidential data from the company. We sincerely hope your executive team, has the strategic sense to prevent this data from leaking online. Be smart and give the people back their milk, damn it. The timer is ticking. You have until the end of the week. That made me laugh in the office when I read that.
Yeah, look,
give the people back their milk, damn it.
Okay, Anubis, you win this round.
That made me laugh when I read it. I thought that was really funny.
Even though it's Anubis who are somehow denying people their milk through their criminal activity. But fine.
Let's not focus on the who's and whats,
Let's not ascribe blame when criminals are clearly doing criminal things.
I published this story a couple days ago. So at the time that this is published, it'll have been 3 days ago. They said that in just over 6 days, they'll be publishing the allegedly stolen data. So that nothing's been up yet. Now, neither Fairlife nor Coca-Cola provided an update on the incident from when it happened a few days ago. However, shares have been impacted, but not terribly. So stock fell around 4% last week. However, and Fairlife is a big business. It's only a couple years old.
Yep.
And it has generated roughly $4 billion in revenue.
Good grief.
However, it's not really a big deal because in just the first quarter of this financial year, Coca-Cola generated $12.5 billion.
Oh, well.
So Fairlife is still operating. Like 4% of, Fairlife is, it's not a huge deal for Coca-Cola. It will survive. This isn't a JLR kind of thing where the business is going to be stunted. Still a problem.
Obviously.
And this isn't the first time this has happened. Just last year, 2 Coca-Cola partners were hacked. One was a Middle Eastern bottling partner.
Yes, I covered that one.
You did.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Ali Beverages Company in Dubai, and then Coca-Cola Europe Pacific Partners was also hacked. So,
I mean, when you have the global footprint of a company like Coca-Cola, which is a beverage company only in the loosest possible terms because it does so much else. You must be getting hacked all the goddamn time.
Yeah. So this is the incident happened late last week. So actually the data now may actually be up.
We should keep an eye out for that.
I will keep an eye out on that.
Yeah.
No one here do we'll let you know.
Watch this space.
But yeah, really, really, really crazy one. It's, seeing these big companies get hacked. It doesn't happen super often, but when it does, it's pretty alarming.
But also, it happens. They're a target as much as anyone else.
Oh, we've reported on a couple.
Going back to that large footprint almost makes them a bigger target.
Well, it's one of those things, the bigger fish is harder to land, but if you
Not in this case,
not
I would
really,
say,
no.
because you have so many, the attack surface is larger.
Yes.
Think of all the people that work there, all those internet-facing devices.
Sure, but at the same time, they've got the budget for better security and stuff. It's why SMEs get targeted all the time.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
So, but it's still, it happens.
Yeah.
As we
it's that thing. The hacker can hit and miss, no problem. The network defender cannot afford to miss.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And so I was going to move on and talk about Ernst & Young, EY, and I will touch on them briefly. Another big global company, in fact, one of the big four accounting services consulting ones, very active here in Australia, obviously.
Yes.
And they have disclosed a cyber incident. What do they say? They have sent out letters, which were filed with the California's Attorney General, and they said, based on EY's investigation and available evidence between March 28 and April 12, that's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
An unauthorized third party accessed a third party platform and downloaded documents pertaining to a number of EY clients. Now, that's all they've said in terms of the scope of the incident. But again, global giant.
Yeah.
More money than most.
Yeah. Well,
more resources than most. And yet, here they go again.
We're talking about two big international companies.
Yeah.
We've spoken about local large companies like Origin. We've talked about OpenAI having... again, that's different. But Suno is a massive company as well.
Yeah.
We've kind of really only covered big boys, so it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're all getting hit. But at the same time, we don't even really have time to cover these. We're just going to go straight down our news page and list off. Okay, what have we got here? Reed, property firm you wrote about.
LR Reed,
LR Reed, Australian property outfit.
It was RL Reed. I'm so sorry.
Reed.
It is.
They got hit. We discovered that overnight. Downey's Collectibles, numismatics specialist, coin collectors, basically.
Yes.
They got hit. Go To Health, Queensland healthcare outfit. They disclosed an incident that was reported, interestingly, by the ABC. Before I got a statement from them. Origin, locally, obviously. Raynella East College has updated parents and carers at the start of term 3 about how they're remediating their incident. SafePay went after a New South Wales accountant.
AC Small, Maxwell and Co.
There we go.
That was 2 days ago, by the way, that AC Small, Maxwell and Co.
I've got to breathe.
Just to point out just how many there have been. Yeah. And this is the last week. I know we've been away for a few weeks.
But that's just the last 7 days.
Yeah. I mean, that was the last 2 for a lot of them.
Yeah. And there's still a couple of incidents I'm waiting on statements and holding fire on. I mean, it has been
a big year.
It's a big year, big week. It always is. But just the from the top end of town all the way down to small outfits that I'd never heard of before they got hacked. Everybody out there is a potential victim. And I can't get that message across to anybody listening. If you have data on a computer, you are a potential target.
I was speaking to, I won't name who, but a victim this morning. And they were saying, this has never happened to us before. And I'm like, you've probably most likely done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
This is just a case of, we talk about it as a case of when, not if. I know we've said it a million times on the podcast, but it really is the case. You can do everything right and it can still happen.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. But you need to know it is a vastly evolving and accelerating threat landscape out there.
It is.
You and I will go for like a week or two, like, oh, it's quiet. Wow, maybe things are turning around. Wham.
Bang.
Yeah, reality hits us straight in the face. Okay, that's a lot of crimes. So we're going to take a short break, chill, breathe for a bit, regain our composure, and come back with some interesting and good news.
Yes.
We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Cyber Uncut. He's Dan, I'm David. Let's talk Qantas.
It's been a while. It's been about exactly a year, I actually think.
I think you are quite bang on there.
Yeah, so Qantas actually confirmed their cyber incident on 30th of June, so just over a year.
Yeah.
And so obviously there's been an investigation by the OAIC, and it has released its preliminary findings after investigating the attack.
And this is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I go through the thing in the story.
Yeah.
So the OIC has said, based on its preliminary inquiries alone, that it does not make any kind of findings that would suggest that a further investigation is needed.
Yeah, it found that there was not a likelihood that Qantas had failed to take reasonable steps. I think that's the core here.
That is the core, yes. So as a result, they're thinking we don't need to actually have the commissioner themselves launch an investigation into this. Like, this is our national carrier. It's a big company. You'd understand if so. But it seems like Qantas did everything they needed to. So, as detailed in the report, the information obtained through our preliminary inquiries did not indicate a likelihood that Qantas had failed to take reasonable steps to protect the personal information it held at the time of the incident, nor did it indicate a likelihood that Qantas failed to take reasonable steps to ensure its overseas third-party provider complied with the Australian privacy principles. So this is really, really good. For the reasons outlined in this report, I've concluded, this is the OAIC, for reasons outlined in this report, I've concluded my preliminary inquiries into the data breach without commencing a CII or taking other regulatory action in response to the incident. I do not consider the evidence supports the likelihood of a breach and do not consider it an appropriate use of resources to commence a further investigation.
Yeah, and I thought what Kylie Kind said about this, she's the Australian Privacy Commissioner.
Yes.
You know, she reiterated a lot of what the OIC said broadly, but she said data breaches are a persistent feature of today's digital world and can occur despite organizations taking steps to protect personal information. And then goes on to say, agentic and advanced AI will only increase the cybersecurity risks that businesses face, and it is critical that all organizations continuously review and enhance their security to protect against this growing threat.
Which is it's very textbook, but it's true.
We're flagging this as good news, and maybe it doesn't sound like that, but the things here which I think are interesting we can take away as good news. One, it's good news for Qantas.
It is. And it's also good news for its customers. Qantas did the right thing. They did everything by the book. They followed, they obviously had a playbook. They followed it.
Yeah.
And the result was good.
And here it might be questionable, and if you disagree this is good news, that's fair. Reach out to us and let us know. But I think the good news here is it proves that you can do everything right, as we were just saying, and this will still happen. So people often get really angry and start blaming people about the mistakes they've made when it comes to cybersecurity. And in many cases you and I have looked at, it's clear mistakes have been made.
Yeah, sure.
Corners have been cut. The proper security systems aren't in place. They don't have a plan to respond to it. We see that all the time. Qantas, their comms were brilliant. They were open about all of this. And it happened.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I think the thing to remember here is what we're looking at is a highly adversarial environment.
Yeah.
Qantas is doing everything it can. Its network defenders are doing everything it can. But then you've got highly motivated people out there who are idiots, like scattered Lapsus spider jerks.
Yeah.
Hey, Lapsus are retiring, by the way, apparently.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
We will not be throwing them a party.
No. And it's still going to happen. And while that may not be comforting, I think there's a level of knowledge there where you can go, okay, we need to calm down and think about this rationally.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I absolutely think it's good news. I think, there aren't a lot of wins when we're talking about cybercrime. This is. This is a demonstration that this is a company that, yes, they were doing everything right beforehand. That still happened, and they did everything right after.
The bad thing happened, we can't get away from that. And I think that's the attitude that more people need to get their heads around.
I think so too. Honestly, well done, Qantas.
Yeah. But also that one line from Kind, data breaches are a persistent feature of today's digital world.
It's a sad reality, but it is a reality.
It is a reality. Now, actual, literal, very good news, unless you hate the Victorian Labor Party, in which case I am sure you'll be able to find a way to go, no, I don't like it.
But otherwise, there's really no cutting a line of, is this good or bad news? This is just good news.
This is good news. So the state government of Victoria has said it's going to introduce 2 sets of laws. And frankly, I'm all for both of them. The first one is a set of laws to protect particularly children, but pretty much everyone in the state, from online harms on social media.
Yeah.
Premier Jacinta Allan said social media and AI companies design their platforms to be addictive, and our kids are paying the price. So what she proposes is what are being called unmasking laws. if a platform hurts a child, families should be able to take that company to court. Hiding behind an anonymous account online should never mean you can vilify someone and get away with it. So part of it is being able to discover who people are that are doing these horrible things. And there are some very horrible organized groups of people out there doing very horrible things online. The other part is currently parents must prove their child has suffered a psychiatric impairment that passes a 10% threshold to bring a social media or a company before the courts. She wants to get rid of that. She wants to get rid of that burden of proof on the families to basically make it harder for the tech companies to go, no, you can't prove a thing. We didn't do anything wrong.
And also, like, I get why they had that burden of proof thing, but I don't think families are going to go, right, we're going to launch a legal action against a massive company and go through the stress and the money and everything like that unless something has actually happened.
You know? But also that process of proving that 10% threshold, that must be horrible.
Oh, yeah. Let's make your child and you
Even
live through it
we get
again,
through the
again,
legal
again,
process,
again.
we must first define that you are, in fact, screwed over.
I think that's stupid. So I'm glad that they've done that.
Yeah.
Also, I like this solution a lot more than the social media ban because the people it's punishing are the predators online, not the kids. I think this is a really, really great attitude. Granted, a blanket ban might keep more kids away from dangerous material. But
Narrator, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
But apparently there was discussion of banning VPNs at one point. So
it won't.
I think that's a terrible idea as well.
It is.
Security issues.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
back to this though.
Back to this one. Now, no matter what you think about that, and also Alan has said that the Victorian government is thinking of extending that to adults as well. At the moment, it's very much for kids, but also to adults. And honestly, given the grey hairs being terminally online has given me, I can respect that.
I'm all for it. I think this is fantastic. This is actually the best good news we've had in a long time. Like, this is awesome.
Unambiguously good news. But that's not all.
No, it keeps going.
The Allan government has also said it wants to crack down on, I love this, weird invasive spying on workers. Basically wants to make it harder or in fact possibly even illegal to some extent for workers for the workplace, for your bosses to spy on you. And we're talking things like AI monitoring of leak breaks. All the kind of stuff that Amazon does, for instance.
Like, you leave your webcam on all day kind of thing so we could track when you get up from your desk kind of thing.
The new laws, proposed new laws, will prevent the unnecessary collection of biometric data and monitoring of workers' emotional states. The use of AI to monitor activities such as bathroom breaks and provide greater protections against the use of, and I quote, workplace surveillance and AI to discriminate by race, gender, sexuality, religion, or other personal characteristics. Also, going after the use of AI in the hiring process to enshrine a right to know if workers are being monitored by their employer, and always make sure that a human is always in the loop when AI-based decisions are being made that concerns workers' rights.
I think that's so good. I think that's really good. It's also a deterrent for companies using AI for the hiring process because you literally get people with the most amazing experiences and resumes and stuff who aren't getting jobs because they're not hitting keywords. And literally, both the business and the person suffer from that. It doesn't make any sense. This is great.
Here's what Alan said about that particular tranche of laws. No Victorian should be watched at work without knowing about it. I should say no human being. I'm sickened by the idea that a pregnant woman's bathroom breaks or emotions could be tracked, logged, and used against her or her colleagues in a salary decision. We cannot allow discrimination to sneak back into the workplace via AI.
This is... no notes. Honestly, this is really
no notes.
This is really, really cool. I love this, and I really hope that here in New South Wales and the rest of the country and the world, this kind of spreads because this is really, really cool. Really, really cool.
So, I mean, I think that's it for the pod.
I think so.
I think actual good news. If you think that's not good news out there,
if you want your bathroom breaks monitored,
reach out. Tell us why you don't care about this invasive technology reaching into your working life, because it is still your life.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. It's really, really great to be back. I imagine it'll probably be a month now before we do this again.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not too. Thank you for listening. You can find Daniel and I on cyberdaily.au. You can sign up to our newsletter. You can find us on social media as well. And we may be back next week, but we will.
Fingers crossed.
This is a threat. Be back.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.